Place a mess. Tonight on Dr. Freedom, I don't solve a murder. Let me open up the window. Let a little bit more light in here. Well, not a whole lot more. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dr. Freedom and friends. An interesting last 48 hours or so where apparently we've got everybody speculating, smacking their heads against the wall and wondering just what the hell is going on. As you all know, a document surfaced with Lee Haven Jones apparently directing a Christmas special. Now, the thing is, if any of you have been keeping track of the latest filming news, be sure to go to Doctor Who Production News to do this on Twitter. There's been a lot of talk about filming, of course, still going on in and around Cardiff. And the thing is, Lee Haven Jones has been sighted on set, so we got to assume that this has got to be the holiday special that is filming now, aka they're saying it's Christmas, and we know there's a couple of jolly old weirdos who are going, Jodie's got to regenerate. But it's just still amazing to me how toxic some of the fandom still is. I'm just befuddled with the amount of hate that is still simmering out there. It's like they're acting like, Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, and all them other guys went to their house, ate their baby, shot their dog, and, did things with their cat that you shouldn't talk about at the psychiatrist. It just amazes the living shit out of me. Because, really, this is all you've got? The show ain't even been on the air for a year. And yet these guys are still dragging this shit out like it's like some life-altering event. Let me tell you about a life-altering event. Try on that the CEO of GM, Maria what's-her-nuts, I think it's, I forget her name. Forget it. She's a hoe. And the reason I say she's a hoe is because she collects $22 million in benefits for her benefits package for this year. After shutting down 5 plants, I think it was, and putting or was it 3 plants? By the way, she put 15,000 people out of work. Yet they had $22 million to pay this corporate hoe so she can hire out geishas to do the cha-cha. I don't know. But there's someone you can hate. Okay? And I love how everybody has suddenly become armchair directors, armchair executives, armchair directors of photography, acting experts beyond all comprehension, because suddenly, here's my favorite one as of late. Jodie Whittaker is a bad actress. She cannot perform as the Doctor. Yet, if we put Phoebe Waller-Bridge in, it would all be fixed. No, let me tell you a sad bit of news. For the majority of these folks out there who are hiding behind the, classic critic position, I think a lot of it does have to do with the fact that she is a woman. I'm not saying it's all of them, because there are people who do have genuine concerns. I can understand that. Series 11 was by far not perfect, but it wasn't no better or no worse than any other series we've ever had. There were good episodes, there were bad episodes. Yet people are making it out like the bad episode somehow went into their house and haunted it. It caused their little kid's head to spin all the way around and made the microwave sing, I want your soul. I'm not kidding. It just befuddles the shit out of me. It really does. And I love how every last detail, thank you, Kelly, that they're arguing about. And I'm sitting here thinking, all this same shit was all the way back to the beginning of the series, even in the new series. Oh, there's people making up new stuff to complain about. But like I said, and then, of course, you got the BAFTA, the Welsh BAFTAs coming up. People are making fun of that now. Like the Welsh BAFTAs hadn't been around for a few years. Or the ones that really had me amused is when Jodie got... It was Jodie Whittaker. I Oh God, my brain. Bradley Walsh. I wanted to say Graham Walsh for a second. I don't know why. Taz and Cole and all have got like honorary degrees from this university. And it's not something that hasn't happened to other actors and all that before. Yet people are making it like it's an act of Congress. It's like, oh, look at them collecting honorary degrees. Why don't you tell that to the little how many year old who's going to collect a Nobel Prize for bitching? But that's just my opinion. All right. I'm not kidding. They act like the show is over. I got some bad news for them. From what I heard today and from documents that are out there, Series 13 is already being written. Guess who's writing the episodes? Chris Chibnall. Not all of them, but some of them. Which means there's no regime change. Which means Whitaker's not leaving. They need to get over it already. Oh, man. Speaking of that, well, I got some of you more in here. Some of you may know a certain other bald fella who's running around on the net, and apparently he resulted to showing people's personal information on his videos because if you liked Jody, you were somehow public enemy number one. You had to be hunted down and, trolled, apparently. And for what I just heard a few minutes ago, he's learned the reason why YouTube has guidelines. Wham. And I can tell you right now, it wasn't me, but the video was taken down. And it's just, really? Is your argument that flimsy and that weak that you have to result in personal attacks on individuals because they don't agree with you? Oh, no. Let's just say he's Irish. So that would probably explain why in my last few video streams, people have been coming on here trying to spam them out. That's because, well, let's just say it's not that Irish guy that was in that movie, Scorsese did. I'll give you a hint. There's going to be a Christmas special this year, next year, and Jody's leaving. And according to my sauces, well, let me see. I don't know what your sauces say, but guess what? My odor reader says you're full of shit. Okay? Go stick them back in the fridge. The ketchup's, talking bad to you. Oh. And yes, for you people who are asking, that is the real Lady Gallifrey. That's not a troll account. She has come out from the shadows to fight along my side. She knows where the bread is buttered. No, meanwhile, I don't know if he's still doing it. All I know is he put up a video apparently showing personal information of certain individuals who, basically have challenged him in their videos. And like I said, I've never even said the guy's name. Yet somehow he was going to come after me legally. And I'm like, it's called an opinion, man. And go right ahead. It's like, because what it'll do is if quote unquote alleged offense took place in America, I'll demand the right to face my accuser, which means you're going to have to pony up for a transatlantic flight over to here. It could get held up in international court for years. But, it's not like it could happen. I've once had a guy try to, by the way, yeah, he interviewed a certain guy, by the way, I heard. Because people have been passing me this stuff. And I'm like, I don't watch these people's channel. I got better things to do. Yeah, it's the thing is this. Just because our opinions differ, though, doesn't give you the right to go out, and put up people's personal information. That's right there in the YouTube guidelines. That's a big fat no-no. You can't do that shit. That'd be like, me handing out your home address and stuff like that, saying, hey, send a bomb to his house. Sorry, no. Encouraging trolling is, also various other things such as hate crimes and all that. I've had it done to me, I don't know how many times. people seem to think I was deliberately hiding my identity and all that back when I first started. But the problem is this: if I was really hiding my identity, you would have never seen my face outside of a mask. I would never have created a Facebook page because then you can link it back to me. I would have never done any of that stuff. It was just meant to be a shtick, a gag. It wasn't like I was being Columbo or some shit, like, wait, of course, none of you know who Columbo is. Ugh. Or anybody remember poor Columbo? I can't do a decent Peter Falk. I'm sorry. I can't do it to him. There's only a handful of people who can do a decent Peter Falk, one of them being Maurice LaMarche, and that'd be about it. How many here watch Twisted Tunes? Anybody? If you haven't watched Twisted Tunes, go do it. It's spelled, oh yeah, I love Twisted Tunes. I know. Please go look that up and watch it. Because, all right, just to give you a hint on what you're missing on. Twisted Tunes, and Tunes is spelled TWONZ, is a group of voice artists who get together on stage at various cons and they read lines, they read scripts for movies, but they use different voices. Like one, they had this guy who's a very, well done with Disney, and he was sitting there reading, I think it was Kylo Ren as Goofy, stuff like that. You got to watch it. It's hilarious. And they still have a few more out there. I love popping them up every now and then when I need a laugh. Yeah, this is the mug I got a little while ago. And the sad part is this was only 2 Doctor Who items that were left at my local Hobby Lobby. And now people have been going, the merch isn't selling, so Series 11 must have sucked. It's like, no, the Hobby Lobby cleared out everything that was Doctor Who and took it out of the aisle, put it on clearance, and then replaced everything with Marvel and DC. So that's another reason why your merch probably isn't selling. Marvel and DC are king right now. And people keep referring to the little demon back here. That's just little Groot. He's designed with a couple of straps so you can wear them on your shoulder. So you can walk around, he rides around on your shoulder. But what happens is I have him hooked up to the treadmill there. So that way it's kind of like Groot is with me when I'm on the treadmill. Somebody was calling him a little demon. I'm like, no, that's just little Groot. I don't think little Groot's trying to take over, is he? I'm going to consume your soul. Okay. I have not watched Joker, so I cannot tell you anything about it. A lot of people have been going, why don't we do this about Joker and all that? How many have now fully watched the Mission to the Unknown video? The recreation. It's awesome, ain't it? It's incredibly well done. It really is. But get ready for this. Out come the armchair Doctor Who experts who began to tweet and comment and bitch. Believe it or not, yes. It's on. If you want to go watch it, Fezman, it's over on the Doctor Who official YouTube channel. It's free. And they even have a making of documentary. And it's very, very well done. Matter of fact, somebody just put on Twitter the footage from the UCLAN, the recreation, and they put the original soundtrack on it, and they lined it up almost perfectly. That's how well shot it was. That's how well recreated that episode was. They went to every length to make it as authentic as possible. But listen to this. The Dalek in the one scene was the wrong color and did not have a proper lens. And I'm sitting there thinking, why don't you go try to do it yourself, you jackass? Please do. Please go check it out if you've not seen it. It's on the Doctor Who official YouTube channel. Just go to your YouTube search engine, type in Mission to the Unknown, I think recreation Doctor Who. It should come right up. Or just go to the Doctor Who official channel on YouTube. Oh, God, there's no way they could remake the 50th. It's too late. But there have been some very interesting revelations about what went on during that time. Like, for one, Chris Eccleston confirmed something that I've been saying and a few others have been saying since the 50th, and that is the lines you saw for the War Doctor and all that were not the same. It was completely rewritten for John Hurt. If Nine had been in it, it would have been a totally different thing. It was nowhere near the level that John Hurt got, and that's one of the reasons why he turned it down. But like I said, it still pisses me off beyond all comprehension as to why the hell Paul McGann was not in it. He should have been in it, period. The guy looks just about the same as he did back in 96. There was no reason why he couldn't have been on screen other than, well, John Hurt will sell more movie tickets. Also create some big enigma that everybody had already solved within 5 minutes after they aired it. But yeah, but the reason why he didn't do it because the original script didn't reflect the Ninth Doctor well. That's why one of the also the big factor I think was the apology he didn't get, because I know they gave McGann a 7-minute special. Folks, I knew things were in trouble, and like I said, it's an unpopular opinion, but I knew we were in trouble when they announced that special was only going to be 75 minutes. I'm like, wait a minute. The second part of David Tennant's Swan Song, The End of Time, Part 2, was 75 minutes. Yet the 50th anniversary special for the entire show is going to be the same length. It just seemed to me like a lot of pre-planning was not put into it. In a way, you can't blame Moffat, though, because when they came into that year, the only person they had signed was Jenna Coleman. Matt Smith was looking for the door. But still, it's like Paul McGann would have done it in a heartbeat. I don't know what the big deal was. If anything, they could have paired Coleman up with McGann and made it a big timey-wimey thing. That would have kicked ass. But I'm very glad that, that Eccleston, has been going out to the cons and all that. But a lot of people don't realize that even before he was doing the cons, he was still giving away free autographs. And, he never turned down anybody who showed him a Doctor Who picture to be signed. So the guy was always very kind towards the fans, even after the BBC blackballed him. I think we'll be getting some Series 12 news sooner than you think. We're going to have to be a little bit more patient. I think it's coming. Considering, I think Series 12 is pretty much done. We had Jodie call up Zoe Ball on last Friday and say that Series 12 filming was not near completion. Then all of a sudden we got filming going on this week. You got Lee Haven Jones sighted on set, which indicates it could be the special. But the thing is, the mind boggler is they're saying it's a Christmas special, but how would they get it done for this year if, especially given the fact they've already made it known that it can't be this year because Titan Comics is doing the special in the comic book form for this year. Plus, they already said no Doctor Who till 2020, yet a lot of people seem to think it's going to happen this year. No, it's not. Also, the big concern is, well, why would they film something 14 months in advance? Because they can. Now, there's speculation abound, of course, that what if they're doing a special for January 1st of 2020? And then they'd have to rush it through post-production. If they're filming it now here in October 11th, that gives them about 2.5 months, to get the thing filmed, edited, run through post. And remember, they're using a whole new type of camera, type of vision systems and stuff like that now. So it's not as quick as it used to be to run it through post. A lot of folks, matter of fact, I did notice a few reactors who were freaking out because they didn't like the new cinematic look. But to me, I think it gives it a whole new depth. That's just my opinion. I really hope, Series 13, I know it's being written right now. I'm hoping they start filming it a bit sooner next year. So that way we aren't waiting another year. The year off for this last one was a mistake and a half. It should never have been done. You had momentum going, and now you're taking a year off to let the haters go wild. You're taking a year off to let the fans you've brought in, start drifting off to other things. And you just can't afford that shit. Look at what happened to Capaldi. He was still averaging, I think, we're somewhere around 6 or 7 million viewers on season 9. I have to go double check my numbers, but all I remember is season 10, they took that year off, and bam, 5.5 million was the average for series 10. I'm like, and who do you blame for this? I think some of it had to do with the boys on floor 6. One explanation I heard that seems to be more fitting is, well, we want to focus on Sherlock this year. I mean, for 2016. Also, like I said, there's more and more stuff now bubbling up. You have to remember, the truth is like I don't want to freak you out, but sometimes, well, it's just a metaphor, John, that I use. It's not floor 6 anymore, but it's just a metaphor I use, very equivalent. The truth these days, as far as this stuff goes, is like a body going in the water. It eventually goes down to the bottom, but then it fills up and blah, blah, it bubbles up to the surface. And I've been hearing more and more now about what happened with Capaldi. At least people have been coming forward here and there. And it's beginning to sound like, I was right, along with a few other people. Exactly. RTD had no gap years. And that's because I think when RTD knocked this thing out of the park, he had a lot more power over Doctor Who than Moffat or Chibnall currently have. Now, Chibnall has a little bit of clout because no one else wants the job, period. They had to literally elbow Chibnall through the door. And that's why I'm dying laughing at all these people who are pointing at Chris Chibnall going, oh, you should quit. Oh, you should just go away. Because something Sophie Aldred said very recently in Doctor Who magazine made a whole lot of things, ring true suddenly. Like a lot of people thought, all right, let's wing ourselves back in time about 30 years. A lot of people were jumping up and down saying John Nathan Turner should have left. John Nathan Turner ruined the show. John Nathan Turner, it's his fault. But remember, now Sophie Aldred, just this year, and Doctor Who magazine said they basically approached John Nathan Turner and told him, when you go, Doctor Who goes. So now it gives you a whole new appreciation for JNT and why he stuck it out for so long. Because here's this guy thinking, I'm stuck. I don't want to be the one who wipes out Doctor Who, saying, look, that's it. I'm done. I got to go. Yeah, he had no choice. They basically told him, if you go, Doctor Who goes. I wouldn't, like I said, I'll believe the Series 12 trailer this weekend when I see it. Okay, remember, that was a rumor. The planet Rumar, where magical things happen, where Paris Hilton will come to your house and, I don't even want to go into that. If Paris Hilton come to my house, I'd have to call up the Atlantic CDC to have it fumigated. Or Atlanta CDC. Oh, well. Hello, Center for Disease Control. Yeah, Paris Hilton's on my lawn. One of my trees just died. Is that bad? Well, it just keeled right over. Luckily, it went away from the house. Here's the problem. Remember way back when we had 13 episodes in a Christmas special? Then suddenly, it's almost like it was a stealth maneuver. We come into Capaldi, and we got 12 episodes in a Christmas special. And it just seems to me like what's going on is this. The budget, I think, is being whittled down to the point that they've got no choice to cut down episodes. So that's why we're only getting 10 episodes in a special. And a lot of people are still going, well, why don't they go back to Christmas? And as if they do, I'll be shocked. Even though we've had this announcement. Remember, someone told me that Wayne Yippett, who directed Resolution, when his thing first came up, he was listed as a Christmas special director, and it was later changed. So it could be this special filming now is for New Year's, and this is a stealth maneuver to keep it, under wraps. So that's why I never remember when you're doing this stuff, especially when you're investigating shit like this, it's basically like you're the KGB, the infamous 3 words, trust but verify. And, oh, man. It really is. It's ever since around Series 10 and up, maybe a little bit before, things that just can get really wacky. Like, I'll never forget. Now, actually, no, going back to the 50th anniversary year, I remember when somebody, they deliberately leaked a fake script onto the internet. There was one that was left in the back of a taxi cab, and it was a totally bogus script, and it was done deliberately. You could tell it was made to look like an actual script. But when we sat here and read it, me and the Omega Files gang, we're like, there's no way they're fitting all this in the 75 minutes. It's too good to be true. And I'm just remembering parts of it. But like I said, I have nothing against Matt Smith as an actor. He's did a really good job with the Doctor. But like I said, it's just the way he treated fans until he started getting paid. That kind of turns me off to the guy. Sure, if you were a kid, he'd pay attention to you, but if you're above a certain age and not disabled, piss off. Yeah, Matt could have hung around for another year easily and eased the transition for Capaldi, which is one of the reasons why they did that little phone call segment. There was a lot of people going nuts because Capaldi was so much older. And that's another thing. I'm remembering back when people were going off about Peter Capaldi being too old. And it was nowhere near as vicious as they've been on Jodie Whittaker. I do not know the exact terms of what he quit, but I don't think. All I know is this. When he went on that one radio show and announced he quit, the host had no idea. She admitted that later, which means, and this is a BBC radio show. I can't remember which one it is, Save My Life. Damn. But if the BBC had known Capaldi was quitting, they would have informed her to be ready for that announcement. Then not even a few months later, you find out that, Chibs is sitting there going, well, I offered him more time and he declined. And then you find out later one of the conditions of him taking over was that he wanted a female doctor. And I'm like, how does that fit in to Peter Capaldi hanging around for another year? So it just didn't add up. Well, the thing is this. You can tell who the real misogynists are out of the whole thing. You have the misogynists who are pissed off at the very beginning when they announced her, but you also have the traditionalists. And the thing is, when you're trying to be a traditionalist in Doctor Who, it's like you're trying to defend the canonicity and continuity of a show that involves time travel. Thank you very much, John. I'm sorry. I always blank out on her name. I go, for some reason I keep thinking of Zoe Ball, and I knew it wasn't Zoe Ball. It was Joe Wiley. Yeah. And it's like, she had no idea. I think that was Peter's way of saying, that's it. I'm done with the hoopla. And there's word reaching me also that this might be one of the reasons why he's not done Big Finish yet, as he wants to take a little bit of time to get out there, do some other things, and maybe let, some of it boil down or simmer down. I mean, exactly. Now people are freaking out because, oh no, they're talking about a female James Bond. No, they're talking about somebody else taking over the 007 designation. Ugh. But here's the thing. When they announced that when they did the Jodie Whittaker announcement, the little video, not even 5 minutes after that, you had an uproar of people going, it's going to suck. And then from then on, it was always, it's going to suck. Even before the first episode, before the ink was even dry on the script, it's going to suck. So you can pretty much tell right there that you're dealing with either traditionalists or misogynists, if they're complaining with it before it even aired. And then you have the ones who complained all the way up to and through the time it aired. Like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm like, oh. I really wish Peter, I said, okay, I wish Matt had hung around for one more year, but after Andrew Garfield landed that Spider-Man role, his eyes lit up as dollar signs. He was doing the bing, ching, ching, Richie Rich eyeball thing. And the thing is, in a way, you can't blame him because, all right, I'm going to get this right this time because I blew it on the last video. The kids on Stranger Things are making $250,000 per episode, except Millie Bobby Brown, who's making $350,000 per episode. Meanwhile, the average person playing the Doctor gets about, say, $240K per year. See what I mean? That's why British actors are flocking to America. That's where the money is. Same thing with a lot of New Zealand actors and actresses showing now. I die laughing, though, because when you look at movies like the Spiderwick Chronicles, it's a couple of typical American kids played by British actors. But no, there's not going to be a cat. The cat thing was a mislead somebody threw out there. Just like somebody was out there saying earlier this week there was going to be a midnight announcement, and it turned out it was a joke amongst like 3 people on Twitter, and everybody hops on it. And that's the problem. You got to watch out for where rumors start. My theory is, and if you've been on this channel a while, you already know what it is, but I'm going to reiterate it here for anybody who's new. The new Doctor who does eventually come in, his writing was also the most unpopular. Dude, have you watched Time Lash? Or the Happiness Patrol? Delta and the Bannerman? Sleep No More. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, my theory is if the Doctor does change, the one who comes after Jodie when she does eventually leave will likely be a male and he'll be of a different ethnicity. That's my theory. It won't be a white guy. Yeah, Time and the Ronnie. Oh, man. I felt so damn sorry for Kate O'Mara having to wear that Mel getup. I really did. It's no discredit to Bonnie Langford. It's just they made poor Kate O'Mara look like a clown. Ugh. You only watched the modern series. Okay, let's start with the modern series, shall we? I hate to do this. Fear Her. My favorite, Love and Monsters. Curse of the Black Rot. Kill the Moon, yeah, in the Forest of the Shite. Oh, man. I liked 42. Exactly. That's what I meant. There's bad in the new series just as much as there is good. Not everything comes out on paper that goes down on paper looks as good when it hits the screen. Like one of my favorite cases of this was for you Babylon 5 fans, there was an episode called Gray. I think it was Gray 17 is Missing. And it had like Robert Englund in it as a guest star. And even Joe Michael Straczynski goes, it looked like such a great idea on paper, but man, when it went to the screen, it was shit. Well, the thing is this, you can't, the only reason I use the terms classic and modern is so that way I get, it's kind of like doing a species thing. So that way we know what era we're in, just for an era title. No, it's like some people do hold the classic era up. Like my favorite one is I used to know a guy who said every doctor after Tom Baker was pretty much shit. And I'm like, every doctor out there has had good episodes and bad episodes. It's just the law of the jungle. You're never going to satisfy everyone. Well, Colin Baker was a baddie on Doctor Who too before he landed the role. Remember Commander Maxwell, Arc of Infinity. I shoot the Doctor. No, Class was just plain terrible. All right. One of the biggest flaws with Class. Yes, RTD killed Torchwood. You can't blame the Americans on that one. It was the writing on Torchwood Miracle Day that killed it. But the only thing other than the first episode of Class that anchored it to the main show was the Coal Hill Academy. It was a location, and it wasn't even the same location as the Coal Hill School. The Coal Hill Academy, which, by the way, no one you're ever going to see there other than these kids and stone people boinking and oh, man. Yeah, Miracle Day was horrible. Yeah, let's make a pedo our hero of the story. Also, the more I watched Miracle Day, it just seemed to me like they took a 5-episode script and stretched it out over 10 episodes. Yeah, it didn't get any better, John. You didn't miss anything. I really toughed it out. Now, the problem with the Ace Adventures is this, Fez. The BBC obviously don't want to do it. You have all these Whovian actors who would happily come back and do a spinoff. But it's like the BBC avoids it like the plague. Yet they let a shit idea like Class hit the screen. And I love how people, the Weeping Angels. Oh, yeah, of course, people do mention the Weeping Angels at the end of Class, which made no goddamn sense whatsoever. I can't reiterate that enough. I know it's like an old horse, but why would the Weeping Angels ally themselves with an alien race of people to hijack a private school in London? Why would the Weeping Angels even freaking need them? Oh. Yeah, Class, the first 3 episodes were okay. And maybe most of what Quill did was okay. But the rest of it was freaking horrible. And of course, you all notice how that guy who ran the show, oh, hell, I can't remember his name. What's his name? Harness, I think it was. Yeah, he bailed before they even canceled the show because he knew what was going to happen. But also, I think, is it just me? Or does it seem like that they set it up to fail? Because remember, we had spin-off mania back then. We were like, we want a spin-off. And we couldn't get one. And then all of a sudden, look, here's Class. Yeah, I agree with you, John. That's one of the things I hated about Miracle Day, was all the stupid sex scenes. The unrequired, unplot forwarding sex scenes. It's like, do I really have to watch Jack Harkness do it for half an episode to really understand what's going on? And plus the fact that it was Jack's blood, which, by the way, has nothing to do with his immortality, getting fired into a colossal negative space vagina running through the middle of the planet that has suddenly made everybody immortal and him mortal again. I'm like, I know Mother Earth gets a little tense every now and then, but I didn't know she had a colossal space vagina running through the middle of her. Plus the fact that it wasn't until the end when they go, oh, we've decided to guard this thing that's been sitting here unguarded through this whole event. Oh, I wanted to go. Oh, man. I seriously wanted to find a ball-peen hammer to see if it was possible to commit suicide with it. Bong, bong, bong. But Eve Miles looked hot in a dress. Okay. Then again, we got to see a lot of that, of course, in Keeping Faith. Okay, but... Well, yeah, there's a lot of great actors out there, who've different, or not white guys who could be the Doctor. Like, everybody's like going, Idris Elba, you're never going to get him. He doesn't want the job. Trust me, I have wish lists too. But... Nah, they'll never do anything like that. You'd have to get rights to the character and shit like that, depending on who owns it. It's a little bit of everything, Jake. What you got a question? Throw it in. I'll try to keep up with you. Because, all right, as I brought up before, you've got all these actors and actresses who would love to do a spinoff, but the BBC just doesn't bother. And when they do finally do a spinoff, like I said, it only ties to the show through one episode, The Weeping Angels, and a freaking way caught school. Olivia Colman, you're never going to get it, 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 never going to see her on Doctor Who again, never going to see it. Oscar-winning actress, never going to. Just like why you're never going to see Carrie Mulgrew on that show again, ever. I think it was Carrie Mulgrew who played Sally Sparrow, right? Like I said, I'm going off the brain noggin here. It's never going to happen because she's doing The Crown now, ain't she? For HBO or Netflix? I can't remember which one. For Netflix. So she's gone. She's making big money. Carrie Mulligan, thank you. Now, the thing is, I got the name Mulgrew stuck in my head because of, oh, man. Oh, man. How many here have been watching a show called Mr. Mercedes? I've seen more of Kate Mulgrew than I've ever wanted to see in my life. That's all I can say. Scenes that should never be seen by fans of Star Trek Voyager are now burned into my brain. Things I can never unsee. Yeah, that's why I'm saying you're never going to get Olivia Colman back. She's gone. You're never going to see that happen either. Stephen Fry is making big fat movies, which, oh, by the way, Stephen Fry is in Series 12. Scary. True crime. What the hell is that? The Masked Singer? It almost sounds like Zorro did a karaoke act. Okay. But another thing we were shouting for, I remember even when Paul McGann only got 7 minutes on, the 50th anniversary, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people signing petitions for an 8th Doctor Adventure spinoff. BBC ignored them. We don't care. We don't give a shit. Now, Hugh Laurie, I don't think you're going to see because Hugh Laurie has already made his money in a half. Basically, name a Stephen. All right, yes. Kevin just brought up Stephen King book. just about everything Stephen King has ever written now is being optioned to be made into a movie or TV series. So, matter of fact, they're going on with The Dark Tower, by the way, in case any of you are curious. But it's going to be a series, and it's going to not be tied to the movie in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, they've brought in a young white actor. It's going to, if any of you have read Wizard and Glass, it's going to start with the story of when Roland and his friends visit Magus, and from that book. Yeah, the people wanted Paul McGann in a Doctor Who spinoff, but you know what the explanation was? Having two doctors on the same time would be too confusing. I guess we're all just stupid as hell. Oh, well. Yeah, literally everything Stephen King has written just about is right now being adapted for a movie. Why do people keep saying Richard Ayoade for the Doctor when they know it's never going to happen? I hate to sound mean, but every single time I think in the modern series when we've had an announcement that a doctor's leaving, Richard Ayoade, not going to happen. I tried watching the IT Crowd. I couldn't do it. Just didn't work for me. There were parts that made me laugh, but the rest of it just like, well, yes, I have seen It Chapter 2, and it was awesome. I've not seen Joker yet before anyone asks. I would have to sit down and run through a list of CVs before I even began to take a guess as who would likely be the next Doctor. Like I said, my theory is though it won't be a white guy. And also keep in mind, this show has been on in its new form since 2005. So you are running on 14, going on 15 years now on the new series. And whether people like it or not, it's going to run out. You're getting it, Kevin. They're doing a version of The Stand. It's going to be a mini series. Shit. They've already named a bunch of it. Look it up, The Stand, new series. I can't remember if it's Showtime or what do you call it is picking it up. But there is a new mini series for Stephen King's The Stand on its way out. You're right. Whoopi Goldberg's playing Mother Abigail. All right. Boris Johnson couldn't play the master. Boris Johnson can't even be a decent prime minister from what I've heard. Political humor. I'm hoping they at least make it to the 60th anniversary. But the thing is, we're a bit long in the tooth even now. Don't know. Like I said, chances are someone else will be in the seat by then. That's if they can, find a decent writer who just happens to be walking along the side of a road one night. They either club/chloroform him, drag him into a car, lock him in a room somewhere at gunpoint and make him do the series. Because from what I heard, that's about what it took to get Chibnall to take the series. And given how well he's been treated by some members of our fandom, can you blame anybody for not wanting to write Doctor Who? Moffat doesn't want it. Sorry, Who's Books. Why do you think he got the hell out? Moffat used to be right here on Twitter. And the threats and shit against him and his family, he left social media. He is back on Instagram, as is Russell T. Davies and Chris Eccleston. So every now and then him and RTD have little things they post back and forth to each other because of the toxic fandom. No, this new miniseries is a bigger budget. It's got, what do you call it? It's going to have more to it. I loved the last one, so I think the last one was brilliant with Jamie Sheridan as Randall Flagg. Oh, hell. Let me see. Gary Sinise, Molly Ringwald. Oh, man. One of the last big productions there for Uncle Martin. Oh, man. Now, my biggest problem with the current TARDIS is it's too dark. They need to lighten it up a little bit. It's just way too dark in there. It's like that's all you need. You're traveling through time and space, and somebody actually steps on your foot, and then you wham, there goes the whole ball game. You know, it's like I do like the way they're doing the screen and shit, you know, where the control screen pops up in different areas. And also I like the way they've done the entryway now. Because if you look back in the past episodes of Who, there were times during the Pertwee era where it just opened up, and apparently the doors were supposed to be the actual doors. And then there's other times during like Tom Baker where they walk out, they go into like a dark area, and then boom, they come out the doors. We do know a lot about Series 12 if you do some digging. So far confirmed back, we got the Jadoon, we got the Cybermen, rumored, we've got Sea Devils, we got Master. I'll believe those two when I see them. I'm leaving them on the rumor / disinformation pile right now. The one episode coming up is going to have to deal with spies and stuff like that. We got another episode that's going to be about a character from World War II. And that was, like I said, I don't have my notes in front of me right now. It's more than likely going to be 10 episodes, just like the last season. I love the frog. Don't diss the frog. To me, when I saw that frog, the first thing that popped in my head is this is frickin' Douglas Adams. That reminded me of something Douglas Adams would have done. Yeah, the new Cybermen, from what I saw, oh my goodness. They got spikes on their leg armor now and stuff like that. The Dune remake is already wrapped filming. So it's already in the can and it's gone to editing and post-production, if anyone's curious about that. No, it's not the return of Churchill. It has nothing to do with Churchill. If you look up some of the photos I put up, when you look at the leg armor, they've got these spikes on the leg armor now for some reason. I thought they look really cool looking. I don't know if they're trying to mimic knights or what it is. I had no problem with the writing on Series 11. The only episodes I think that really didn't do it for me were Arachnids in the UK, because the ending arguments there, while some of the scenes were really, really cute, don't shoot the spider because we have an even better plan to lock them up in a room and let them suffocate to death. What? That's what Arachnids in the UK seemed like it was rushed. Whoever wrote it didn't really have any goddamn idea on an exit strategy other than let's lock them in a room and gas them or let them suffocate to death. Yet shooting the big spider in the big room there was mean. Well, a lot of people are going, they want to see Jodie go dark. And I think what might have been is this. They've set things up for this, for Series 11. So it's kind of got a lighter tone. And then when they come back in for next season, from what I heard, that's when they're going to knock you on your ass. Well, everybody has a dud story every now and then. It's not, not everybody writes fantastic shit all the time. That's what I'm beginning to wonder if they haven't held her back this last season a bit. Allegedly, there's a 2-parter in Series 12. Everyone's been telling me that the Jadoon one's a 2-parter. But like I said, I'll believe it when I see a synopsis. Okay, folks, we're coming up on the end of our journey. We got about 5 minutes left because I'm going to go do some more writing because I'm finally coming up on the end scene for What Lies Beneath. And I just realized it's been going on since September of last year. And it ran over because of things that happened to me at work. I had to do overtime, shit like that. If any of you are interested in the Dr. Freedom and Eric audio adventures, simply go to my YouTube homepage, scroll down. You're going to see the bookmarks. Oh, sorry, not the, you're going to see the different folders down there, the playlists, and they're organized in playlists. So if you want to go listen to them, they're there. You may want to start at the beginning because that's going to give you a lot of background on the main character because Dr. Freedom in the series is not me, okay? It's a character I've written. So, well, luckily it calmed down to we've been doing 40 hours since about this past summer. But up to that summer, we were doing like 9-hour days and shit like that. And before that, when I was at Avon, we were doing 58-hour weeks towards the end there. It's like, phew. I like Elton John, but I've never seen that movie. I have been meaning to. Yeah, he has a lot of songs I really do love. So, yep, no, I'm not kidding. We were doing back before I left at Avon, we were doing 5 10-hour days a week. That was 5:30 in the afternoon to 4 o'clock the following morning, and oh, man. And then they were allowed to twice a month to give you an 8-hour Saturday. So sometimes we do 50-hour week, a 58-hour week, a 58-hour week, and then do another 50-hour week, then do 2 more 58-hour weeks. So for a while there was just really crazy. But yeah, we've been down to 40-hour weeks, though, for the last few weeks. So it was madness. It nearly drove me insane. Somebody get on going here, folks. So please take care of yourselves. Remember, when you're out there on Twitter, Facebook, a forum, 3 words, always remember these 3 words because they're going to save you a lot of problems. Trust but verify. Never take anything that anyone posts on Twitter at face value unless it's coming from an official Doctor Who channel. Because there's a lot of guys out there, like I said, that 3 guys made a joke on Twitter this past week and had everybody convinced there was going to be a midnight announcement. And it's like, it was a joke. When you traced it back, there it was. I think Nick Briggs will be doing voices for Doctor Who until his larynx falls out. So, well, good night, everybody. I'm going to get going. I got some other stuff to do, so please take care. Have a good one. See you on the flip side, kiddies.